Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. Today, let's go over the market, see what happened, what we can expect going into tomorrow, being of course the final day of the week. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think tomorrow's quad witching. I think I just saw some people talking about it. I'm not 100% sure. I should probably check it out myself to be completely honest. But nonetheless, it is going to be one of those Fridays. Now, if you don't know, usually you can't really see the calendar, but usually the middle of each month, roughly. And the Friday of that month tends to be a massive options day. That's because that's the one usually people buy when they like maybe sell options, even buy options, whatever, right? People usually buy somewhere around the middle of the month, and of course a Friday, right? So in this case, the 16th of September, which is tomorrow, happens to be that day. Why? Because that's the one that usually has the most open interest and has the lowest spreads. Overall, not everything, but like overall on average, which is why most people buy that one, which is why also that means that a lot of options usually expire pretty much every single month on that, roughly the middle of the month Friday, which in this case happens to be tomorrow. So the point I'm trying to make here is the fact that tomorrow might be a bit of a volatile day, a bit of like a lot of traps once again. But all that being said and done, let's jump into it. Tesla ending the day up 0.38% at 303.75. Compared to the market, however, Tesla shockingly outperforming significantly the past like 2-ish days. It's been severely, I mean, honestly, even this red day, Tesla outperformed. I would say the last 3 days, Tesla has been just showing crazy strength. And this, again, I hate sounding like a bear all the time. I really do. Believe me, I don't want to. I really don't want to, but I don't want to just say bullshit just to make people happy, even though that's not what I actually think is going to happen. Sometimes this happens before these massive option expiration days, like tomorrow on Tesla specifically, because it's such a heavy options market. Tesla is a massive options market. A lot of people play options on Tesla. So sometimes this happens, and then once the options expire, then the real move happens. It's like almost as if, like, think of it this way. Imagine like you're putting a bunch of, like, I don't know, air or something like that in like a very tight container, but you're like, putting more and more air or something like that. Or like you're steaming like, food in a pot, but there's no like little hole at the top for the steam to come out. And it's like slowly building and building and building. Eventually it's going to pop essentially, right? That's kind of what happens with this, at least from what I've noticed in the past, where Tesla tends to do these kind of moves, especially if the options premiums are like overall a little bit more bullish and bearish until it pops and then a massive move happens. This has happened on Tesla several times. And because I personally believe the market to be quite bearish here, I'm personally believing that Tesla is going to be popping pretty soon. Unfortunately, to the downside, I know, trust me, I really wish I wasn't saying that. I really wish I could be like, to the upside, guys, we're going to all-time highs. I really want to say that, but like, it's just, I genuinely don't believe that's going to happen. It might. I could be obviously extremely wrong, but just based on how the market looks, I don't think that's going to be the case. But regardless, let's analyze it. Let's figure this out. Let's kind of, back that up a little bit more with some, I guess, somewhat factual information, right? Technical analysis, all that good stuff. So like I said, Tesla ending the day just slightly red, or green rather, compared to a very red market. Now, pretty much what we said yesterday came to fruition, close to it at least. I said, pretty much a realistic best case scenario. Well, okay, realistic best case scenario was 320, but I said I expect about 312-ish. We didn't come up to 312 exactly, but we did go higher, which is still essentially what we said, that we are going to go higher than pretty much this level here. We did go up higher, which is great. We did close some decent candles above it, but as you can see on the 1 hour, we did close a candle above 1 hour. There's one candle I remember I was looking at that wasn't really that convincing, but ultimately, like, I mean, this was kind of a bull trap, actually. I'll be completely honest with you. This did look like a bit of a bull trap. The fact that we closed even a 4 hour above 306, it was looking pretty good. And we did rally all the way up to pretty much almost 310. So pretty close to what I predicted. But the fact that we had this massive red candle following after, it did bounce off of this demand zone, which now became demand zone, which is good. However, it did close still below this kind of 306, 305-ish level, which is not good. And then looking at the daily, you can see that the candle, right, it should be just crystal clear that there's just a lot of supply, let's just say, in this area. As you can see, every time we try pushing in this general vicinity, like, we're just getting rejected over and over and over. Like, we're just having a lot of issues within pretty much within this area right here, right? There's a lot of issues, a lot of just selling pressure there, which is expected. And in my opinion, like, this whole area up here, pretty much from like 306 to 312, in my opinion, this whole area is pretty much like a huge supply area where people, it's just a lot of selling happening, right? Because it's looking overall net bearish still. So that's number one. That's not good that we're not able to push. It's ironically enough, in my opinion, I find it personally, again, I could be wrong. I personally find it even worse, the fact that we were able to push up this high, but still get slapped down this hard all the way back under these key levels. The fact that we just cannot close above it on a daily, it's just not good, right? It just really shows that, you know, the buyers, the bulls are just running out of steam and the bears are coming out of hiding, essentially. That's what I personally get from this. Again, could be completely wrong, of course, but the fact that Tesla is showing this much strength for the short term compared to the market that's just kind of pooping itself is very good for now. But this usually means that the pot, again, with all the steam and everything, is just getting inflated. It's getting ready to pop. And because I think the market is looking quite bad, which we'll talk about very soon, I do believe Tesla is going to follow the market. But usually when this happens and Tesla does these kind of things, it tends to follow extremely aggressively to the downside in this case, because the market, I think, is going down, which ends up being like quite painful. And a lot of people get hurt quite a bit. Again, none of this is financial advice. Make your own decisions, do your own research. I'm just saying what I see. You can take it as you will. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can think I'm a madman. Does not matter to me whatsoever. I strongly believe that we are about to see some incredible pain coming over to the market and to Tesla. I really strongly believe that. Starting potentially even tomorrow. I really do believe that. If not tomorrow, then next week, I think, is where the real ride begins to the downside. So we'll see what happens with that, ladies and gentlemen. But taking a quick look at more analysis, right? So first of all, you know, the very basic stuff that we care about, you know, the 21 email, we're still above it. Like I will admit, Tesla overall still doesn't look that bad, but just relative to what I personally believe is about to happen, I do think it's about to get bad. It's a prediction, but you know, it's something that I personally believe will happen. We're still above the major 15 and 200. Like, you know, in all honesty, Tesla doesn't look that bad. Like, especially compared to how absolutely hideous SPY and QQQ look. Like, they just look so bad. Like, they really do look like quite bearish. I'll be completely honest. They look really bad, not good. It just makes you wonder how much longer can Tesla really just outperform the market this significantly, you know? And I just don't believe it to be that much longer. On top of that, Tesla is starting to set up a bit of a bearish divergence, right? So what does that mean? Well, let's go over a slightly shorter time frame. It's setting it up on every time frame, which is not good. But let's go over to the 15-minute chart. So as you can see, as Tesla went up to this level, the RSI, so pretty much as Tesla was at 305 over here, the RSI came up to 72 almost, right? Tesla went obviously even higher, all the way up to like 309. The RSI didn't even break 70. And then as Tesla is arguably making a higher low, the RSI is making a lower low. And as you keep going on the longer time frames, the same thing keeps happening more or less. Tesla's making higher highs, the RSI is making lower lows, right? So as you can see, Tesla going up like this, the RSI, however, is going down like this, right? That's just something to consider, right? And same with the top side, right? As Tesla is kind of, you know, making higher highs up here, the RSI is making lower highs as well, right? So it's doing the opposite of what the stock is doing. That to me, or not to me, but in general, is a bearish divergence, which tells me that there is decent, like a pretty, like I would easily give this like an 80% chance of pain on its way. Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's next week, I do think it'll be probably next week at the latest, sometime next week. I don't know exactly when, obviously. I wish I did, but I don't. But I do think that at the very latest, it'll be next week. Another example is this, right? This just looks like a very basic bear flag, essentially. Now, again, same concept. As Tesla went all the way over here, the RSI in the 1 hour went up to 80. Now we went even higher, and the RSI barely even breaking 65, right? So substantially lower. Again, as Tesla is making its move to the upside, the RSI is making its move to the downside. And again, we can go on the next time frame. It's happening on every single time frame, even the daily, right? As you can see, same thing happens. Tesla went all the way up, the daily is going lower and lower. So, you know, again, you can look at the closing prices, right? You know, the closing price here, it's 304. The closing price here is 303, 1 point lower. However, it's a decent amount lower on the RSI, right? So ultimately that tells me that, again, we are due for some pain. Again, I really, believe me, don't want to be a bear. I don't want to say this. I don't want to make people lose, or I'm not making people do anything. I don't want people to lose money in general. I don't want people to potentially have to go through what we're about to go through, because it is, I think, going to get quite ugly. But I'm not here to, you know, tell you guys what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you guys just what I personally believe to be the cold hard truth, right? Taking a look at the SPY, the indices, right, that in theory should influence Tesla's movement. They haven't for the past 3 days. Tesla sometimes does its own thing that is not abnormal. But you can see how the market essentially had a bit of a bear fake out down here. Now, that's not good, right? However, it did kind of rally back up at the very last second, which isn't that bad. So it's still setting up for like a potential bear bait and a potential rally for a bull bait somewhere up here. That is still a possibility, which I actually think will happen. And the reason I think that'll happen is because if we were to remove this right here, which, you know, at the end of the day, who cares about that? What we really care about is this overall picture, right? So on the SPY, you can see how we are essentially trading within this channel, and we have bounced off of this red line. Starting from here, I mean, if you want to count this, I guess as one, but really this doesn't really count, right? Usually it's 1, 2, 3, and then today is the fourth, where we bounced off of it. However, on the bearish side, where we went under it, came back up, over as well, but we got rejected. We got slapped back down, slapped back down, and we ended well below it, which is not good. So we have officially broken this uptrend that we were in, which isn't great. That's like a decent, like a pretty high chance that that's like bearish, quite bearish too. Now, what I personally expect to happen is a bull trap coming up maybe tomorrow, followed by quite a lot of pain. And the reason I think for that to happen is because, as usual, you guys know, whenever a trend gets broken, I want to see a retest. I want to see a successful retest in this case, followed by a continuation. So what does that mean? That means I want to see something like this probably tomorrow and then downside. That's essentially what I want to see. Will it happen? I mean, who knows? Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you for sure if it'll happen or if it won't happen. But that is essentially what I see. To make it, a little bit more visualized, I expect something like this and then down, right? Whether it's tomorrow, whether it's Monday, I don't know exactly, but I do expect this to happen in the very near short term. And then I expect following that for the true pain train to start, which I strongly believe will be sometime next week, if not earlier, honestly, maybe tomorrow. Again, I don't know exactly the time frame, but again, but before next week ends, I expect the majority of this pain to be over, but it will be quite painful. Again, that's just my current prediction. That's what I expect. Again, we also want to make sure we take a very quick look at the VIX. The VIX is kind of setting up for a potential move. You can see here, which is not looking that bad. Essentially, once the VIX breaks well above this kind of area that's getting rejected over and over and over, it is going to make a lot of or a large move overall. So you can argue that this is a bull flag for VIX, right? You can argue the fact that we kind of went from down here all the way up to this swing high. Let me go ahead and try that one more time. I don't know what is going on. I have no idea what's going on. Let me try this again. All right. So you can argue that we essentially went from something like this, give or take, and then we're essentially creating something like, I mean, it almost broke out actually. That was kind of a fake out, but nonetheless, you can easily make an argument for something like this. I'm not going to do a picture, a super perfect, bull flag or whatever, but you can make the argument that it's setting up something along the lines of this, and it's about to break out to the top side, which of course means the market is going to the downside. That is something else to consider. So yeah, that's essentially what I'm seeing, guys. Again, one final look at Tesla I also want to mention is the fact that we are setting up bearish patterns, right? The first and foremost we had was this double top right here, where again, a double top is essentially an M shape. You go up, same area, rejection twice with this little M part right here. So it sets up an M looking pattern, and then it breaks below. We had another rally, and you can also argue the fact that this is just a larger potential double-ish to triple top, where we essentially rallied from up here, got rejected around this area. I'll draw it, it's easier. When we went up, got rejected around this area, being the first true major overall top. M, another rejection pretty much in the same general area, and then we go down like this. That's another thing you can argue as well, right? So again, that's kind of what I'm seeing at the very moment. Could be wrong. Hopefully I am wrong for the sake of, people that are hodling and whatnot. Again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm here to tell you guys what I see and what I think will happen. Whether that hurts or whether that doesn't hurt, it doesn't really matter to me. It's just what I personally believe. So yeah, that's what I see, guys. I really do think we're about to enter some quite large turmoil. Let's just say that. A lot of pain coming up very, 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 very soon. So yeah, hopefully you guys are ready for it. I'll see you guys. I'll be here, as it happens. I'll still explain to you guys what I'm seeing as it's happening, as I do believe it will start happening very soon. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. Until, I guess tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace.